I'm knocking on, that door. I'm vibing. Yeah, you feel me? Bruh. Yo, side note, Inglewood has some of the most beautiful women in LA. I think Inglewood is between Inglewood and Baldwin Hills. But he's behind, like, he doesn't come to school. I remember my mom, and then they said some bullshit. They said that he's a active gang member. They said I don't come to school because I'm a gang member. I told him I don't come to school because of gang members.
You mentioned there's a few things that you were having a hard time.
Yeah.
Your relationship with just who you are, what you're doing, your relationship with love, your relationship with just your passion, your being an artist, your family, your friends, your parents, like the relationship with all these people. I'm really curious about kind of the dating world, because being a rapper, but also you mentioned school was like, it wasn't as easy for you. I would love to hear a little bit more about kind of like, what was that journey like? What was the process of you going through that high school side, and getting this confidence now, getting this kind of a little bit of momentum?
When I, like, you talking about like the date, you want to go to the dating when I started dating?
Yeah, your journey with love.
My first, man, I loved women from, obviously from the jump, but I remember seeing Vanessa Williams. I don't know how old I was. I was young. I seen Vanessa Williams on this right before she got with what's his name? Rick Fox. Right before she got with Rick Fox, I seen her, and I was like, yo, I know my girl, whoever I'm with, she gonna be like that. She gonna be light skinned. She gonna have the little eye. You know what I'm saying? So I always was looking for that. You know what I'm saying? But as I grew, I realized the sisters wasn't vibing with me at first. You feel me? Like, I always love the sisters, man. I'm a big advocate for the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice campaign. You feel me? But early days, they was like, man, get your big black ass out my face. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't fucking with me.
It's Fontana though.
No, this was before Fontana. I'm talking like LA
got it.
And Fontana for sure. They wasn't fucking with me in Fontana.
Yeah, Fontana.
But we didn't really, I'm gonna keep it funky, bro. Like, at the school I was at, we didn't really have a lot of pickings.
Sure.
We didn't really have as far as in the black, you know what I'm saying? But we had the Spanish little vibes. The Spanish vibes was a vibe. You know what I'm saying? We had the little Spanish vibe going full strong. So the Spanish vibe was fucking with my vibe. So I'm a nigga that believe in, I go where I'm celebrated, not tolerated. You feel me? So my first experiences was with, you know what I'm saying? Was, I'm knocking, you know what I'm saying? I'm knocking on, that door. I'm vibing. Yeah, you feel me? Bruh, so that was my vibe. I was with the Spanish, you know what I'm saying? Little half and halves, you feel me? That was really my little cup of tea.
So it was cool. So is it so life is not so much of a struggle, hopefully. Like, I mean, it's
when we get to Fontana? Nah, it's different. It definitely, I feel like at that point, everything's coming together.
Okay.
Like, all the shit that she had went through is like, okay, it's coming together.
And how is your relationship with your mother?
That's my nigga. She's my dog.
So that, like, it's all throughout this time, you two were just as tight as, like.
Now, it wasn't,
I mean, of
when
course,
you get into high school and shit, you start thinking you know what I'm saying? At that time, we wasn't as close as we are now. But, yeah, but that's still my dog. She always been my dog. That's my dog, for real. And, yeah, that's when, like, I think at that point in life, we really wasn't rocking because she was lonely, and she would, she would deal with certain people that I wasn't really rocking with. You feel me? Like, our energies didn't mesh. You feel me? So, but my mom need love. I love to see my mom happy, but to say that she was happy, I don't think she was happy. I think she was just, that's just what it was. That was the look she was going for at the time, to be married and be in this whole shit. I was, I'm happy. I was happy for her. I would have been happy for her if I could honestly admit, like, feel like she was happy. But even in Fontana, man, I remember that, like, my step pops. I've even talked about it in songs. Like, I remember when the police raided our house there because of him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just because of, you know, living this certain lifestyle, you know, and you get caught up, you know, selling this to the wrong people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I've experienced and seen a lot of different things, dynamics.
Do you feel like those moments was like a reminder of just like dang, like when you feel like you're making like cool, life is good.
Yeah.
You have these moments like,
yeah, that's it. But that goes to the moments that keep you going, right? Because it's like you gotta have the yin and the yang. Just like the moments that keep you going, you gotta have the moments that keep you humble. And I hate the word humble. I don't really like to go by that kind of vibe, but
sure.
but you know, to keep you down to earth, remind you like, yo, you still a human. You still could, you know what I'm saying? You can still fuck this shit up. Stay sharp, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it go with the yin and the yang. So just like you get those, all right, man, it's okay, let's go. We on the right path. You'll get that like, hold on, nigga, slow your ass up, focus. You know what I'm saying? So it go hand in hand.
If your future right now, and you're kind of entering out of high school, education was struggle.
Trash.
But you passed, no?
Barely. Hell yeah, I had to go to Citrus. I don't know if you're familiar with Citrus.
Of course I am familiar with Citrus.
So I had to go to Citrus. I don't even think Citrus is open. I drove by there. I don't think it's still open, but I had to go to Citrus. I had a 0 period. I had a 7th period. An 8th period, 9th period, and I went to Citrus. And I had to take adult school classes. I was bullshitting. I was on bullshit. We had this thing called Kaiser Days. Bruh, I missed so much school. But I had been ditching school since I was in the 11th grade. When we lived in Inglewood, I was in the 11th grade. We had this, we went to, I think it's called Monroe. I went to a school called Monroe. It's like right behind Food for Less.
Right.
Man, they used to have a hole in the gate. I used to get out to the hole in the gate. See, Inglewood, when I went to Inglewood, I had a lot of problems because my step-pops is a Crip. Inglewood is a blood community. So, I don't know. My step-pops, he was younger at that time, so in his mind, he felt like, you know, me having a blue backpack and blue tennis shoes was a bright idea. I don't know why he thought that. He thought it was a bright idea. He was buying and stuff, so I would always have a problem every day. I used to fight every day. Eventually, you get tired of fighting.
No way. That's every day?
Every fucking day. Every day. Inglewood is where I found out about gangbanging. Like, my cousins and uncles gangbang, but I ain't know, like, it's culture. Like, you don't really know what gangbanging is until you have to learn about gangbanging. Like, when you have to, like,
literally defend your
yo, where you from? Like, you got, like, take your back. I remember them taking my backpack when I was in homeroom. I was, like, doing, you know, in homeroom, you do, like, little homeroom. I don't even know what that class is. It's like a bullshit class, right? What is that class? I don't remember. I just remember that class being bullshit, right? We'd just be doing, but yeah, I'll be in homeroom, and I just remember like
write your name on the board or something.
Yeah, we was just doing some. I don't even remember what. Yeah, so we was in homeroom. Man, there was this chocolate girl in there named Sasha. Man, I remember her. She was so fun. But anyway, we was in homeroom. Sasha was not fucking with me though. Yo, side note, Inglewood has some of the most beautiful women in LA. I think Inglewood is between Inglewood and Baldwin Hills, but I digress. So I'm in homeroom, and then one of the students take my backpack. I ain't even realize because I'm on the board. I can't find my backpack. Then I go to find out the janitor found my backpack in the bathroom. They done shitted on my backpack. Put like what you call that, airbrush?
They tagged it.
Yeah, they tagged it with like red. Like, bro. Inglewood was no joke. I fuck with they females though, but yeah, Inglewood was no joke. That was probably my introduction to shit. And then I would talk to my cousins about it, and they was like, "Nigga, I been banging my like you what?" And I'm like, "What?" I didn't even notice that my cousins and my uncles were gang members. Like they were just my cousins and uncles. Right. You feel me? And
then, so what do you? Because So how come you were so sheltered away from it? Was it just your mom was just like always on the move, never really had a chance to even?
Well, that's why we went to the IE, because that's the gang banging. It was like when I was like 12, 13, like what the Inglewood thing. I was 11. That's when I was ditching school, and I didn't go to school so much that they called her and they're like, "Yo, he's behind. Like he doesn't come to school." I remember my mom. And then they said some bullshit. They said that he's a active gang member. They said I don't come to school because I'm a gang member. I told them I don't come to school because of gang members. But they told my mom I don't come to school because I'm a gang member. And they was like, "Oh, you a blood?" I remember my mom saying, "You a blood? I'm gonna whoop your ass till you see blood." And I'm like, that was like one of the craziest ass whoopings. But then I had to explain to her like, "Yo, the Bloods are going to kill me. Like I have, you got me this blue backpack, you got me blue sneakers. You feel me? No, like look, you don't even understand. They got me blue case Swisses. If you know the culture,
yeah, I know the culture.
Like, bro, why would you do that? Like, and I'm in Inglewood, like, and he went to jail. I remember he went to jail in the midst of us being in Inglewood. So it's like. And we didn't have money like that, so it's like what we had for the school year, that's our shit. Like, that's what you got. This is your shit. Wear your shit. And I just remember, like, that shit was very immature. Like, thinking about, like, as a parent, bro. When I think about it, it's like, yo, you let this game, because he was a Crip, but it's like, you over here using me as a fucking
advertisement
for your hood, and I'm really in the shit. Dealing with shit. And so it's like, I just remember that, and that's when I started like really not fucking with school and not fucking with it at all, and I just started ditching. And I just took that same ditching shit when we moved to the IE, and I was like, shit, nigga, I just ditched. I used to ditch a lot. And then in high school, that shit caught up to me. Them Kaiser days, not going to school. And then when I started getting pussy, it's like, it was over. You know what I'm saying? When sex started coming in, it's like, why am I going to school? That's when it got real.
real.
Yeah. That's how I go to. Yeah, I would go like I'll probably be at school. Like I remember one year there was like he came to school 50 days. That's crazy, right? 50 days.
You're lying.
No, I ain't lying. Mine was hot. That's why I had to do all that 0 period, this period, that period.
50 days.
Mom used to work so much she was never home.
Is she not? Dude.
She worked all the time. She was never home. So.
And you would come home and then take care of your brothers.
Exactly. I'm kicking it. Like, I would, like, when we woke up, she wasn't there. She was already at work.
Yikes.
And by the time we sleep, she coming home to go to sleep. But she going to get up again. So it's like, I really could just chill. Like, ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying? There's nobody here to, like.
You're raising yourself almost.
Yeah, for sure was. And raising them. But, you know.
What about grandpa, grandma? Like.
Oh, at that time, grandma and grandpa, it's crazy because we were closer, but I didn't really go visit as much. Mm-hmm. But then I think it's because I had my dynamic with my dad. I feel like they were like the mediator until me and my dad had the connection.
And once that happened, they felt like cool.
Yeah, it was like, you know, if he comes see me, he'll see me through. His dad will bring me, and my dad didn't really bring me that much.
What's the future here? You made it. You graduated. Somehow, some way, you worked your butt off.
Man, you want me to tell you the crazy thing? I got a crazy story about that. So, I got expelled the week of graduation. So, technically, I didn't graduate. I didn't go to graduation. Yeah, man, for inciting a riot. Yeah, man, I had a freestyle battle. We were battling in the quad. And then the administrator tried to stop it. And then I was like, nah, fuck that. And then I just started rapping about the administrator. And then the whole school was watching. And they were like, oh, like, it just got crazy. And then motherfuckers, like, you know, the dynamic in Fontana is very tense. You know what I'm saying? Black and the Hispanic community is very tense. So it's like, shit like that. Like, it was just, like, you motherfuckers just need an excuse to turn up. You feel me? So it's like that happened. And then shit just went left at the school, and then they blamed it on me, said I incited a riot, because, you know, motherfuckers did start fighting. But I was just rapping, and they expelled me. Police came, they handcuffed me. It was a crazy situation. But then, so I did all that shit to get the shit, and then they still didn't let me go. I remember that was the first time I seen my mom cry.
Oh.
Yeah, like she cried. Like she was crying. Because she had to call everybody and tell everybody. You know, I had family from New York, everywhere. Like, oh, he not going to graduate. So, yeah, that was like the most embarrassing, disappointing thing. So that's why I always told my mom, like, yo, I'm going to go to the Grammys. I'm going to bring you. It's going to happen, though. It's just a matter of time. But I got to bring her. But, yeah.
So now that you went through the kind of high school experience, what's the agenda?
So my dream was to go to New York, man. I said I was going to fly. I was going to graduate and go to New York. And I was going to go to Baseline Studios. And I was going to rap for Jay-Z. Obviously, that didn't happen. So it's like I graduated, and then in Fontana, you work, man. You got warehouses. It's even more warehouses now, but back then it was warehouses everywhere.
Insane amount of warehouses.
Yeah, it's crazy now. It's like the warehouse is right across the street from the school now.
Yeah.
That's wild. Like, you ain't even got no...
He's not lying.
You don't even have a view to dream. I remember you could just...
Look at the mountains.
Man, I remember being in school.
Big there. Yeah.
I manifest my life so crazy that I remember being in school telling myself, I don't care what I do. I just want to be out to go to lunch during the day. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be able to be outside where motherfuckers go to lunch during the day. I don't give a fuck what I do. Before I wanted to rap, I just wanted to do that. And I manifested that, and now I could do that. You know what I'm saying? But I just remember that. So it's like, you don't even have that now. You look out your school window now, you'll see a warehouse. You know, like
that's your future.
Yeah, we used to. I remember walking to school and seeing the mountains full of snow. It was just, it was beautiful.
It's a beautiful sight, man.
That's why I love the IE. It's just like something different. Like
looking up Cherry.
Man,
it's entire just like.
You don't get that shit in LA. LA ain't got that shit. It be all smoggy and just, no disrespect to LA, but I'm just saying they don't have that.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? That inspiration. It's like, I was, like, we wasn't in the best financial situation, but I seen people in good financial situations. So I had something to aspire to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like a shocker to see somebody in a Rolls Royce or Bentley or, you know what I'm saying, these nice cars. You might see that, going down Harupa, Cherry, any of these streets. You might see that. It ain't a lot of them, but you'll see it and you like, yo, if this motherfucker in this neighborhood, like...
I can too.
Man, like, I remember when I heard this line from Hit Boy recently. He said, if my neighbor get blessed, I know God in my neighborhood or something. Like, that's deep. That's how we felt, seeing all these beautiful things happen. You feel me? And that's just the mentality. It's just like you could just be inspired, but that's gone now. They took that.
So if you're still... I mean, you have to work. You have to do your thing.
Hell yeah. But which I really didn't, though. That's what I learned later in life. Like, we get out of school and we feel like, oh, my God, we got to get a job. Like, for what, though? Like, who do you have to support? You just have to support yourself. And
you're still working on the craft. Yeah,
you could support yourself. You could, like, well, what I was doing a little bit, I could have supported myself. You feel me?
For sure.
But it's like... I felt like, oh, no, I need to do this. This is the right thing to do. Da-da-da-da.
I got it.
You know what I'm saying? I remember, I just remember, and then I think, like, right after high school.
Was it that graduation situation that kind of felt like that? That made you feel like, damn, I might have to go. I have to go to work. Like, try to, like...
Yeah, kind of, like, just help out something. And then I just remember I was just doing different things just to, get by and shit. And, I remember one time the kids was, my brothers and shit was at the house, and I went to the park. I was just trying to, like, make a quick little fade. And I was like, I could jump over the wall, do that, and then I'd come back. And I remember coming back, and Mom's had got off early, and she seen the kids was by themselves. And she was like hot, because, the graduation shit already had happened. So she like, yo, what the fuck? What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I can't really tell her what I'm doing. I'm just like, so I like say, oh, I went to go see my girl. Just make some shit up. And I remember she kicked me out. And that was right after high school. And then at the time, I called my pops. Because my pops at the time was like, he was like working on his own shit. He started like doing his own movies, right? So I was like, I called my pops. And I was like, man, my mom kicked me out, And my pops kind of felt the way about the graduation shit too, obviously, you feel me?
Sure.
But I called him, and I remember this shit. And this shit sticks with me. I remember him picking me up, driving me around. And he was, we just talking. And I'm telling him what's going on and just all the shit, And then he was like, at the time, he was like, doing some house renovations. So he didn't really have a stable situation to stay. So, but he had my sister, my little sister, his daughter was there. And I just remember asking him, like, yo, what can I, And he was like, man, he's like, man, I'm in a situation right now. I ain't really got a spot. And where I'm at, I can't just bring, anybody. I gotta do what's best for the family. And I just remember that shit standing out to me. And it's just like, that shit fucked me up. That shit broke me. Because it was like, nigga, what?
For the family.
You know what I'm saying? It was like, I don't think he even know. But yeah, that shit was like, it wasn't like he did it intentionally, said it intentionally. It just, that was his natural feeling. So that happened. And then I stayed at one of my homies' house. He was still in high school, but we used to do music and shit. So I used to stay at his house. He used to make my beats and shit. He rapped too, but he would make the beats and shit. So I stayed with him for a little bit, but then his mom was like, hold on, nigga. Like, he here every day. Like, where he at? Like, you know what I'm saying? And, we at that age, like, because I couldn't really, like, shower at their house. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they like, why you got this musty nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like, And like, he was like, man, mom's asking a question, like, because he had his step pops too, and his step pops used to be tripping like motherfucker. So he was like, yo, I gotta, you gotta like bounce for a little bit. And I remember bouncing, and then I didn't know where to go. So I went to, I remember getting on the train, going, just going on the Union, on the Union train and shit. And it's like, yo, I just seen people like, I just, fell in line in a sense. Like, slept. Just, just kind of like got all the, it's crazy. It's just like, it was a cleansing experience. I got all the tears. I got all the regret. Like, everything at that stage of my life, I was able to just purge my emotions. Because ain't nobody judging you there, man. It's like, yeah, you sleeping on this bench, but there's somebody sleeping on the bench too. There's other people doing this. It was just like, it was a quick moment. You feel me? And then I just remember after that, I don't know how it happened, but my grandma was like, yo, you got to go to school. And I was like, I ain't got no money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how am I going to go to school? And she's like, I'm going to take you to school. You're going to go to school. You're going to sign up to the school, and you're going to do something with yourself. Remember, it was American Intercontinental or some shit. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
I remember signing up there. It was some bullshit. Shouldn't have did that. Got a crazy-ass school loan, put me in debt, and then they lose their accreditation. Yeah, man. So, yeah, life been crazy, man. That was the beginning. That was my introduction to adulthood. Being, you know what I'm saying?
Did it ever get any easier?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
When did that happen?
When it started getting easy?
Easier. Not easy, but like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Easier. I think it was like when I just like was like just got focused on like, I don't know, man. It's hard to really say, man.
It was incremental.
Yeah, like I can't say it got, to be honest, if I'm being all the way transparent, like it got better when I had my daughter. I think when I had my daughter, that's when life, it felt like I had a purpose, so it made more sense.
To really dial in.
Yeah, I was just, because even though before that I was in a relationship, we was figuring out, she was in school, she was smart. Like, it was like, I don't know, in the midst of that, I bagged like a chick that I had no business being with, no business having. The way my life was set up, the way her life was set up, even her parents would say like, yo, the math ain't mathing. You know what I'm saying? But I was so player that, you know what I'm saying, I could talk the pennies off the Statue of Liberty. So it's like, you know what I'm saying, I just macked her, and you know what I'm saying, and I mean that with the utmost respect. I just was able to get, I just made her feel real. I think that's what it was. It was like her life was so structured and so tailor-made. It was so blueprinted, you know what I'm saying. Her family had a blueprint for her, and I made it real. Like, I made it where it's like, man, fuck the blueprint, you fucking with me. And that relationship went on for years, and to be honest, I didn't even know how to handle it. I didn't know how to utilize that love that she was giving me. Plus, I was so insecure with all my failures.
Your situation, yeah.
All I knew how to do was ruin it. That's what I meant when, remember I said, like, when shit be too good, I know how to sabotage it. Mm-hmm. That was a situation I sabotaged, but I learned a lot from it. I got a taste for different type of lifestyle that I would have never got if I wasn't with her. So I always will appreciate her for that.
It's interesting how life gives you. You kept saying it, man. When things get real, God just gives
little things. And she was one of them little things.
Your grandmother came.
Yep.
She comes in your life. Your daughter comes. It's like these things that keep you kind of
afloat, keep you going to where you need to go, to your purpose. But one thing I could say about that situation, she made me a better person, but she wasn't what I needed to go where I'm trying to go.